Love saying that, Bob. And we're going to go up to our ring announcer, Chuck Cease, here with our opening bout, the official introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fabulous Fernwood Resort and Conference Center in the beautiful Poconos, where this evening Cedric Kushner Promotions, in association with Fisticuffs, present Heavyweight Explosion, brought to you by Corona Extra. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. The executive director at ringside is Mr. Greg Serb. My name is Chuck Cease. The officials at ringside include judges Bill Flasser from Scranton, Pennsylvania, Richard Strange from Lakewood, New Jersey, and Bernard Bruni from New Boston, Pennsylvania. The physicians at ringside are Drs. Frank Romascavage from Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania, and Dr. Walter Newman from Scranton. The timekeeper at the bell and counting for the knockdowns is Mr. Bill Reese of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Our referee for this fight tonight is Mr. Charles Grillo. And now the participants. First up, in the blue corner to my left, from Hollywood, Florida, he comes into the ring tonight weighing in at 223 pounds, wearing black trunks with gold fringe. He has a professional record of 10 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. All of his 10 victories are by knockout. Please welcome Ricardo Kennedy. His opponent in the red corner to my right comes to us tonight from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, weighing in at 216 pounds, wearing royal blue trunks with white trim. He has a professional record of 11 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws. 8 of his victories are by knockout. Here is Jeff Wooden. Ladies and gentlemen, heavyweights, 10 rounds in the heavyweight division.
All right, gentlemen. Good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all time. Protect yourselves at all time. Are there any questions? Good luck.
All right, minor correction. Wooden's record is now 12-1 with 9 knockouts. He beat Martin Foster in his last go on Heavyweight Explosion, I might add. And here we go. Round number 1, we're scheduled for 10. It's Jeff Wooden. He's in the blue shorts with the white stripes. Ricardo Kennedy, he's in the black with the gold.
And let's see, it'll be very important to see how Ricardo Kennedy can deal, if he can deal with this southpaw stance that Jeff Wooden start out with, and the quickness of Wooden too, which I think, you know, is his major asset in the heavyweight division. He's quick and he runs stuff up and down you if you let him.
Well, for Kennedy, I'd say right now he threw a right-hand lead, which is what you need to do against the southpaw. Everything you've been taught, you got to reverse. Wooden showing good lateral motion right now.
Wooden seems to be a very relaxed fighter to me, and I think that there's no, it's an intangible in boxing. You can't really measure it, you know, like you do a vertical leap or a guy's reach or whatever, but he seems very relaxed in there, and even as a preliminary fighter, I thought that it was even hurting him to be in the shorter round fights, because it seemed like when he got into the longer range fights, he'd be able to take advantage of that relaxation. Kennedy is just a pro-type heavyweight. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he could be a middle linebacker in the NFL. He's big. He's got big hands and big everything about him, strong as an ox, and you know, he seems like, but the quickness of Wooden there is, you know, although he didn't counter, he made Ricardo Kennedy miss.
Well, a little more than a minute going by in round number 1. That's not where Wooden wants to be. He doesn't want to sit on the ropes and let Kennedy get off on him. Kennedy came in 10-2-1. He's got 10 knockouts. Wooden 12-1, 9 KOs. He's got some good punching power. Both guys can bang. Good body work, though. Wooden really known for his body shots. Kennedy, of course, coming off that knockout loss to Derek Roddy. Got stopped in 2 rounds. Has never been past 6, Bob. How is that going to factor into this fight? Wooden's been the 10 twice.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. But, you know, funnily enough, it doesn't always, you know, matter what he's done up to that point. But, you know, we'll have to say today, certainly Wooden, he fights well in the distance fight, and, you know, he's a relaxed fighter. And I think that when they get into those rounds, that it'll benefit him. But if a guy takes a lot of punishment early in a fight, you know, the same guy's not there later in the fight, so it really doesn't matter. Wooden doesn't seem to be, you know, giving Kennedy too much respect, although Kennedy definitely seems to be the bigger guy.
Wooden's 1 loss, coming to close decision to Chris Bird back in January. Came right back, stopped Martin Foster in 4 rounds on our last Explosion show. Kennedy, of course, after flooring Derek Roddy in the first round, got dropped 4 times himself in the second, losing back in February. And we're going to see now, always tough for a fighter to come back after a knockout loss, or any loss for that matter.
and I think Wooten's coming back with a win, against a Martin Foster, who's a tough journeyman. That's more what you like to do with your fighter than to bring him right back and put him in with another prospect, as ends up with Ricardo's facing here today.
Pretty even, tough first round to call. We come to the end of round number 1.
That's the end of round 1. We're scheduled for 10 in the heavyweight division.
Back in the corner with Jeff Wooden. That's his coach, Andrew Baker, out of Fort Bragg. He was also originally coached by Alfonso Smith, 5-time champion. Howie Albert working on cuts. If you don't know who Howie Albert is, you don't know boxing. We take a look now over at Ricardo Kennedy's corner. And what kind of changes have they made, Bob, you figure, since that knockout loss?
Well, they've got Dwight Pratchett, a former NABF and challenger for a world title several times, gave Julio Cesar Chavez all he wanted in a 12-round bout in the corner as a calming influence. But as I said before, it's not just the guys in the corner when you change, but who's in the opposite corner.
And of course, today we're under the Pennsylvania rules. 10-point must system. Standing 8 count is in effect. 3 knockdown rule in effect, and you can be saved by the bell only in the last round. Round number 2, we're scheduled for 10. We're on heavyweight explosion. Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Bob Spagnola. First round fairly even, Bob. I gave it just a hair to Wooden.
Yeah, I scored the round even. Neither guy really did. I mean, they're both trying to get things started. Here you see Kennedy trying to get busier with his hands, and Wooden wants to be here in the middle of the ring, not on the ropes where he worried over there. And this is what.
Oh, Wooden really starting to open up now, and he's got Kennedy hurt. Kennedy trying to fight back. Wooden's got to watch out. Kennedy hits like a mule. But he's got Kennedy hurt.
Wooden just showing Ricardo Kennedy no respect whatsoever. They're exchanging punches in there. I'm surprised at this technique by Jeff Wooden because, I thought that he'd, try to get Kennedy out there in that deep water, but I guess he wants to get his heart rate up and see what we're going to have here. Jeff Wooden is a very courageous fighter, and I think he just said, hey, heck with all this strategy. Let's go out and have a fight.
Well, I'm sure he was studying the tapes of what Derek Roddy did, but he's got to watch out also. Kennedy, a lot of punching power. 10 knockouts coming off the ropes with that. And we only got a minute gone by here in round number 2. And what a first minute it's been.
I never would have expected to see Kennedy with it. And he's fighting well off the ropes here, but
Wooden, though, really working that body. One of the things he does great, body shots, bring those hands down. He ate an uppercut himself, comes back with a 3-punch combination.
Nice uppercut by Ricardo Kennedy here, and then Wooden comes back. Both of them, it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And here Wooden spins, steps, and pivots off to the side here for the first time in this exchange. Both guys had their feet planted right in front of each other, just exchanging punches.
And I got to tell you, with a little bit more than a minute to go here in round number 2, I think Kennedy's on very unsteady legs, but he's still throwing some good shots. A couple of low blows. Oh, and a big elbow just hit Wooden right on the head.
And Wooden lands a nice uppercut to the solar plexus. Both guys seem comfortable in there at close quarters. Another nice uppercut by Ricardo Kennedy.
I've got to tell you, Bob, I've never seen either one of these fighters fight this style, to really just go at it. Wooden really letting loose now.
Nice 3-punch combination by Jeff Wooden there. Let's see if Kennedy can answer back.
Oh, and he's making Kennedy pay for those misses. Oh, and another good combination. I got to tell you, though, Kennedy's throwing some good shots in there.
Oh, no, he really is. He's landing his hook nicely here against the southpaw. A little bit of a low blow there by Wooden. Referee admonishes him a little bit. He's paying back.
20 seconds to go in round number 2. Wooden's never been stopped.
Excellent heavyweight action here. And here Kennedy lands a nice 1-2 combination and backs up Wooden for the first time in this round.
Oh, and another good combination just to end. What a round.
Round number 3 coming up in the heavyweight division between Jeff Wooden and Ricardo Kennedy. And here to remind you that we're coming into...
And we go back to Ricardo Kennedy's corner. And Bob, I tell you, he got stung real early. He had to have flashbacks. We take a look quickly here at the tail of the tape. Kennedy's got a 1-inch height advantage. The reach is about the same. I mean, everything's fairly even on these guys. A little bit of weight for Ricardo Kennedy. I take a look now at Wooden, though, in his corner. He's breathing very heavy as we take a look at action from round number 2. Non-stop round.
I mean, even though I thought that Wooden got more done in that round, and I scored the round for him. He seemed worse for the wear at the end of it. Ricardo Kennedy seemed somewhat fresh. I don't know how after that.
Well, I'll tell you, Wooden might have thrown just a few too many punches in round number 2. We're going to see what he's got left. He's breathing very heavy in his corner. We take a look at more action here. He worked some great body work in there.
Round number 3 coming up. Number 3 coming up.
Round number 3 scheduled for 10, and the way round number 2 went, I'll be amazed if both guys are standing here for the 10th round. First 2 minutes very strong for Jeff Wooden. Ricardo Kennedy coming on a lot, I got to tell you, amazingly at the end of round number 2.
Yeah.
Not enough to win the round, but I was amazed that he was still standing.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, and I thought that a torrid pace like that would affect Ricardo Kennedy more than Jeff Wooden, but I really feel like we'll have to see how Wooden recovers. But, you know, Kennedy started out this round the fresher of the two of them.
Wooden breathing very heavy between rounds. Really maybe took a shot, because that wasn't typical Jeff Wooden style. He'll wear a guy down, take him late into the round. He just ate a big right-hand lead, and that's what Kennedy needs to throw against a left-hander.
And another one. And I think Kennedy feels like a little bit. I know Dwight Patchett was working on him in the corner, letting him know, listen, you have weathered the storm. Now you go out there and have some fun.
Well, do you feel at this point he took Wooden's best shot? You think he feels that he took Wooden's best shot?
Well, I never looked at Wooden and the two of these guys as being the big one-punch puncher. I thought that was Ricardo Kennedy. I think Jeff gets his things done over a period of time, and like, as you said earlier, real good body puncher. But, you know, they just got in that corner, and I mean, until for about a minute and a half, they just stood there and exchanged punches, and you know, with Wooden getting off the better punches, but Kennedy continued to stay back there and countered with some nice left hooks. And then got in some right hands at the end of the round.
And there's that body shot. This is more typical Jeff Wooden right now. He'll work you from the outside, then work the body and try to bring those hands down. Very content now to stay on the outside. I think he went through that exchange, and there's that right hand lead again. He's got to watch that from Kennedy. That's what you got to do against the lefty, and the one thing that Kennedy's doing right now, Wooden doesn't want to lay on the ropes and just let Kennedy bang away.
No, he doesn't. And, you know, even though the tail of the tape looks very close with these guys, Kennedy seems to be the bigger guy by, you know, he seems to be noticeably bigger of the two of them.
He's got an inch in height. He's got an inch in reach. And again, Wooden trying to work that body on the inside.
Wooden seems to be going for broke here, although he's being very effective with this body work. He's taking back the earlier advantage that Ricardo Kennedy started this round with. And again, these guys are just... Kennedy's leverage is very bad up there.
Kennedy holding on, though. He's hurt. He had Kennedy holding on there. And Kennedy, after a very good start of the round here, letting Wooden back into the round. Wooden, though, throwing a lot of shots, and it's only the 3rd round. And you would have thought that Wooden might want to carry Kennedy, who's never been past 6 into the later rounds, instead of really shooting his load so early.
And it looks like now it's time for Ricardo Kennedy to answer back here. Let's see if he's able to and get back this round. There's Wooden answering back again. Oh, both fighters exchanging hard punches.
And a very tough round to call.
Round.
Tough round to call. Wooden raises his hands. I don't know, Bob. Very tough round. Good first minute for Ricardo Kennedy.
Here comes Danielle and reminds you.
Then Wooden comes on very strong for about a minute and a half, and then they split that last 15 seconds even. But it could go either way. Take a look at action here from round number 3. I'll tell you this, though, Wooden did have Kennedy very hurt in this exchange.
He settled down there and got him underneath to the body a little bit, but
Wooden showing a more ferocious style than I've seen him in a long time, since probably his first 8 pro fight.
he really seems like he's trying to make a point with Ricardo Kennedy here.
Coming up, scheduled for 10 in the heavyweight division. Round number 4 coming up.
Round number 4, we're scheduled for 10. That's Jeff Wooden. He's in the blue shorts with the white stripe. Ricardo Kennedy, he's in the black with gold.
And this fight's living up to its advanced billing here, Arnie. Both these guys, they got everything on the line, and they're fighting like it.
Can they keep this pace up, though, Bob? That's
I don't think so. I don't think so. I thought Wooden would be the one, to go, to string it out into the longer rounds. But, his eye is swollen up. Now, of course, he's got Howie Albert in the corner. But and maybe he is going to take his time a little bit here and stop exchanging with the big, strong Ricardo Kennedy early in the bout.
Let me ask you a question. Wooden takes a look at a tape of somebody like Kennedy, sees him get stopped by Roddy. Do you think that influences how he's going out there and thinks he's going to be the same kind of stoppage?
Well, I mean, maybe that is what happened. But usually you see a fighter do what he likes to do well. And that's, Jeff Wooden, even in his fight with Bird, who's also a southpaw and also got a real good case of the quick going for him. He became the battler out there and followed him up. Now you see him, trying to punch to the body a little bit. But they started out this round both exchanging, Wooden with the straight left and Kennedy with the straight right.
Very important to point out, not only is Jeff Wooden a southpaw, and it might be the first southpaw that Kennedy's ever fought, although he's throwing that right-hand lead nicely, which you need to do. Kennedy's never been past 6 rounds. Wooden's been the 10-round distance.
Big uppercut by Ricardo Kennedy.
And he's got Wooden hurt. Wooden's caught in the corner there. He's got to fight his way out, and he gets back out there. Left eye of Wooden not looking very good. Halfway gone in round number 4. Wooden trying to paw him off, still trying to work that body.
But I think Jeff Wooden has very good recuperative powers, and although Ricardo Kennedy, I didn't think he had him, I think he's demonstrating that he really does in this fight. A lot of times these big, strong guys like that, they're good as long as they're moving in the right direction, but they have a little setback. And Wooden's playing a lot of tricks on him now, trying to break his punches off before he gets them started and everything, which is a good tactic right now to get some time. But he's going right to Ricardo Kennedy.
Well, every time he goes to the body on Kennedy, Kennedy seems to just stop dead in his tracks. So Wooden might have really laid a lot of pain on him in those first 2 furious rounds to the body, as we got under a minute to go in round number 4. No knockdowns miraculously thus far in the fight
with these heavyweights. And I can't believe the way Ricardo Kennedy's sitting on the ropes here, but he's had his moments off those ropes, although here Wooden's getting to him.
Body shots really working well for Wooden. And that uppercut seems to be in the straight right-hand lead, seems the best shot for Kennedy, but he seems to now want to measure Wooden after landing on him early in the round.
And he can't, he can't sit back and, let his, all his momentum be laying on those ropes while he tries to, and let Jeff Wooden have the, have his range and everything in there to punch to the body. Now they're breaking up and they're boxing a little bit of the ring. Excellent fight.
Both guys starting to look a little tired, though, here as they're taking off the second half of round number 4. Good round for Kennedy. Wooden, though, letting Wooden, though, back in the round at the end.
Round number 5 coming up in the heavyweight division for Jeff Wooden and Ricardo Kennedy. And here to tell you all about it is Michelle. She doesn't say too much, but she doesn't have to, does she?
Bob, I got to tell you, if I'm Wooden's corner right now, I'm a little bit concerned about how tired he is as we take a look at Ricardo Kennedy breathing heavy himself, and some concern on the face of Dwight Pratchett. Those body shots taking their toll on both fighters. They could be dancing and waltzing here by the end of the 6th or 7th round, and we're only done with 4.
Especially when you factor in the fact that Ricardo Kennedy's never even been there. Here's that moments that he had, and watch this uppercut here where he really works, gets Jeff Wooden's attention, but Wooden comes firing out of his corner and another 15 seconds later.
Still not a bad round for Ricardo Kennedy getting back in the fight, but near the end of that round he looked like he was a little shot. Round number 5 on that left eye of Jeff Wooden looking a little nasty as Ricardo Kennedy comes out fast, the fastest he's come out so far in the fight. Good first half of 4th round for Kennedy anyway. First 3 rounds were big for Wooden, but Kennedy taking some of Wooden's best big shots, and that's not where Wooden's fought best so far in this fight. Bob, he hasn't wanted to lay on the ropes.
No, he really doesn't want to.
He's got to get that jab moving.
And you could see that Kennedy, listening to his new cornerman Dwight Pratchett, seems to get started early in these rounds quite well, but then he slacks off a little bit, and Jeff Wooden starts to come back and get his. But I have Kennedy, after being behind in the fight, coming back to be ahead by a round right now.
And I got a 3-1 for Wooden, although a couple of those rounds, in particular the first, could have gone either way, possibly even. Wooden came into the fight 12-1, 9 knockouts. Kennedy came in 10-2, 1 draw, 10 KOs. One of his 2 losses, both coming by knockouts. He actually got knocked out by Larry Carlisle back in 1994, April of '94. Of course, got stopped by Derek Roddy in his last fight. Wooden's only loss coming to decision to Chris Bird.
Which, as we talked about earlier today, you know, I really don't think hurt his career. It was nationally televised in the United States, and Bird considered a top prospect himself. Really, it was a showcase for Wooden, but this is a crossroads fight for him here. And as you see him here, you know, trying to be relaxed in there, and he's in with a big, strong guy, and you know, he's shown us a lot of different things. Maybe he's trying to surprise Kennedy in this fight here, but he surprised me, that's for sure.
A little more than halfway gone here in round number 5, and every time Wooden throws a shot to the body, take a look at how Kennedy's trying to protect that right side. As soon as he gets those body shots, Kennedy stops dead in his tracks, and Wooden knows it. There he goes again. Wooden, though, gets a second warning, though, to keep his shots up. He can't afford to lose a point in this fight. That's referee Charlie Zerillo. Kennedy looking very tentative all of a sudden, Bob.
Yeah, he starts, you know, every once in a while he just stops Jeff Wooden in his tracks, but at the same time he's you know, he gets started early in the fight. He goes right to him, tries to land right hands to the body, and then he kind of gets out of it. And here he's just, you know, standing in the middle of the ring with him, which I think when they're boxing like that, it favors Wooden.
Under 40 seconds to go in round number 5. Pace is, for obvious reasons, slowed down. They couldn't possibly keep up that pace. Torrid pace for the first 3. Fourth slowed down a little bit. Fifth getting a lot slower. Kennedy starting to breathe through his mouth now, protecting that right side.
It seems like Jeff Wooden, although he really dug one in right there, but it seems like he would set it up, realizing that his opponent's trying to pace himself here a little bit, but he might be taking this round off a little bit himself.
Wooden finishing strong, and oh, and a big right hand drops Kennedy. Kennedy, very shaky legs. He may have to stop this fight. I don't think he can continue. No saving by the bell in this state. Charlie Zerillo going to send him back to his corner. He doesn't know where he is. And what was a decent round for Kennedy, Wooden drops him.
Dropped him with a clean right hook, I think it was, right at the about 10 seconds to go in the round.
Kennedy on very shaky legs. And we take a look here at action from round number 5. There was that body shot that brought the hands down. Wooden coming back with that right, and down went Kennedy. Take a look from another angle, Bob. Oh, what a right hand by Wooden. Whoa, and that next shot right on the ropes. Kennedy not sure where he was at that point. Let's see if he can weather the storm. He was down 4 times in the second round against Derek Roddy. Wooden a good finisher. He's got 9 knockouts in his 12 wins. One more time, we look at the angle here. Big right hand coming from downstairs on Wooden.
But it was the body shots beforehand that set this up, and you can see it's a major league shot.
And that looks very similar to me. It looked like Marciano Walcott won. You just look at the contorted face there of Ricardo Kennedy, and this seems like more than 60 seconds between rounds. The doctor must be inspecting. They may not let Ricardo Kennedy go out for the round.
Round number 6 coming up in the heavyweight division.
Bob, I didn't have a clock to that. That seemed like a 90-second break.
It sure did. It sure did.
Very long break between rounds. And they're not sure they wanted to send him out. Round number 6 was scheduled for 10. Ricardo Kennedy dropped at the end of round number 5. One of the best punches I've ever seen. Oh. And one of the best punches I ever saw Jeff Wooden throw. That's Wooden. He's in the blue shorts with the white stripe. Ricardo Kennedy, he's in black with gold. After setting a torrid pace for 3 rounds, Kennedy had a very good 4th round, was having a pretty good 5th. And then all of a sudden, Wooden, after going to the body late in the round, came on, lulled Kennedy in.
No, the round was up for grabs, and Wooden, I think, knew that and started to try to finish, and he threw about 3 or 4 real good body punches and then came up to the head with that right hook.
Oh, Wooden again working that body.
You know, he waits for Kennedy to commit, and then he counters very nicely to the body. He's really got a nice, he's got a nice pivot move out of there too, which he's only used once in this fight, but you can't do it all against everybody, that's for sure.
No. Minute gone by here in round number 6. Both fighters very tired. Set an incredible pace the first 3 rounds. A little quieter in the 4th, and then, of course, the end of the 5th, Wooden drops Kennedy. Kennedy's neck hits that strand on the rope, Bob, and we see that so often in boxing. A fighter goes down and his neck hits that rope. Oh, and a good right-hand lead by Kennedy, but you got to wonder, does he have anything left on his punches? Wooden comes right back, snaps back the head of Kennedy.
Yeah, Jeff Wooden seems a little disdainful of Kennedy's power at this point, the time of the fight, but he's not. I would have thought that his adrenaline would have been up, and he really would have started much stronger in this round. But and maybe he started plenty strong several times. Maybe he's trying to take his time now. And that right hook to the body is one of Jeff Wooden's best punches.
Oh, and Kennedy just laying back there right now. That body's really hurting him. On the other hand, Wooden's got to really be worried about that left eye.
I mean, that eye, I was just going to say, is really looking bad. And I've seen how he's been working on that with that new end swell of his in between ever since the start of this bout.
Kennedy, though, looking very tired right now. Doesn't seem to have much zip left on his punches. Wooden content to sit here and possibly wait for that last 10 seconds again, as we're at the 40-second mark. And round number 6 was scheduled for 10. And one of the things that's got to be on Kennedy's mind, he's never been past 6 rounds.
And that body shot by Wooden got his attention there, too.
"20 seconds to go in round number 6.
Excellent heavyweight match here. We got to give credit to Bill Benton
and we said in our open,
big guys together.
Nobody being protected here tonight. Coming up, Ahmad Abdin and Derek Roddy, another unprotected fight as we come near the end of round number 6. Both fighters looking a little slower and tired, but a good round again for Jeff Wooden.
That's the end of 6 rounds. We are going into round number 7 now, the heavyweight division.
Well, Bob, not only, when we take a look there at the corner of Jeff Wooden, not only does Ricardo Kennedy have to worry about this torrid pace that he's been through, but he's now in uncharted waters. He's never been past 6 rounds.
No, but on the positive side for him, he just weathered a major storm.
We take a look at this eye here. Wooden's eye. I got to tell you, got to give a lot of credit to veteran cutman and trainer manager Howie Albert, really keeping that eye of Wooden open. And they got to be a little bit concerned in that corner.
But that enables you here, as we see Wooden working the body here again in the last round. But that having a cut man like Howie Albert in your corner enables you to have a real degree of confidence in him that's not going to end up closing the fight. As you see that new end swell that he's got working on that thing, top and bottom, on about 10 pounds of steel, aluminum.
Round number 7 coming up in the heavyweight division.
Round number 7, we're scheduled for 10. That's Jeff Wooden. He's in the blue shorts with the white stripe. Ricardo Kennedy, he's in the black with the gold. I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Bob Spagnola, and I know you have to be enjoying this one. Only one knockdown thus far in the fight, coming at the end of the 5th round. Wooden dropped Kennedy with a big right hand. Kennedy managed to get up. Seemed to be some concern in his corner about whether he could go on. Fighter set a torrid pace in the first 3 rounds. Good body work again by Wooden, which has been what's kept him going here, bringing down the hands of Kennedy. And Bob, I know we've seen this a little bit differently. I've got Wooden up 59-54. You've got the fight a lot closer at this point.
Well, I think I've got him up by at least 2 points at this point. I had him down by 1 going into that 5th round, but he's certainly been all, with a 2-point round there and then winning the last round. He's in charge of the fight right now.
Kennedy in a place where he's never been before, the 7th round. Never been past 6 in his professional career. All of his wins coming by knockout. 10-2-1 coming into this fight. Wooden 12-1. He's got 9 KOs, but he's been the 10-round distance twice. One time winning against Mo Wilson. Second time losing a close decision to Chris Bird on national TV.
No, and he's using the whole ring. Now, Jeff Wooden is doing the things that I thought he would do early in this fight now in the second half of the fight, after, I think, you're certainly getting some respect from Ricardo Kennedy, where he's not just rushing in there with reckless abandon. And if I was Jeff Wooden, I wouldn't be worrying about if I won this fight by decision or not. I've certainly shown my power, and I think as it goes on, he's going to be in better and better shape, because it seems like Ricardo's balance is betraying him a little bit here at this point in the fight. His legs seem to be locking up on him a little bit.
Well, Kennedy, again, never been in the 7th round before. Wooden using the whole ring right now. Fighting more like a typical Wooden fight, but in retrospect, should Wooden come out successful in this fight, that strategy of taking the body away from Kennedy earlier in that first 2 rounds might have really paid off.
Also, and if you set a slow pace in a fight with a...
Oh, and another good right!
No,
They call that a slip.
Legs got tangled up together there. switched up. But
I'd
he
sure
did,
like to see that in the replay. It looked like it landed.
He did hit him with a punch, but their legs also got tangled up in the front.
Oh. And a very tired Kennedy went down. It sure looked like a shot to me from this end. We'll have to see that replay between rounds.
Several times he's lurched backwards, and I didn't know if it was just bad balance or his feet got caught. But you know, Wooden he's getting in and getting his stuff off, and then he's getting out. He's not, you know, this is like I said. But when you fight a guy like this that has some questions in his own mind about his conditioning or can he go 10 rounds, if you let him set a slow pace. You let him set a slow pace, you know, he can go 10 rounds. And sometimes when you build it up real strong like Jeff did early in this fight, you're getting the guy into the thing where, hey, I'm in a heck of a fight, and you know, and then the pace really gets to him.
End of round number 7.
Here comes Danielle to tell us that round number 8 is up next. Round number 8.
We look at the corner of Jeff Wooden, and I got to tell you, big credit's going to have to be given if this goes the distance to veteran cup man Howie Albert keeping that left eye open. See Coach Andrew Baker. We're going to take a look now at this replay. We're going to take a look at Kennedy go down. We're going to see if a shot landed here. And I got to tell you, Bob, that looked like that left landed to me.
Let's see if
we take a look at the other angle.
You could see where their legs.
Oh yeah, come on. Sure looked good to me. His legs weren't tangled.
Yeah, he
dropped them.
It did look
Referee
good.
Charlie Zerillo missed that one. Dwight Pratchett trying to get Kennedy back on track here. Take a look one more time at this shot, and I got to tell you, that's about as clean as a knockdown punch as I've ever seen. Round number 8, we're scheduled for 10. That's Jeff Wooden. He's in the blue shorts with the white stripe. Ricardo Kennedy is in the black and gold. Been one knockdown thus far in the fight, back in the 5th round. Wooden dropping Kennedy, and a somewhat, although I can't tell you that either corner was screaming or yelling, a disputed slip. Looking at the replay, it looked like to be a clear blow that Wooden dropped Kennedy again in the 7th. Unofficially, I've got him up 60, Wooden up 69-63. Bob, you've got a little closer?
Yeah, but I've still got him up by 3 points, and that, and you know, and heading in that direction. He's got momentum on his side right now. But Kennedy seems, I mean, he seems into the fight. He's not on the verge of giving up the ship or anything like that. But see, now Wooden is doing what, like I said, what I expected him to do early in the fight. He knows he's ahead in the fight now, and I think he's confident in that, and he's going to take advantage. You know, Jeff Wooden had a very extensive amateur career, and Ricardo Kennedy didn't have anywhere near, wasn't at the level that Jeff Wooden fought as an amateur, and I think that kind of an experience is having a huge effect here in this fight tonight.
With a little more than a minute going by in round number 8, has to be a bit of a psychological advantage for Wooden too. He's been the full 10 twice. Kennedy's never been past 6 before tonight. And of course, Kennedy knocked out in his last fight by Derek Roddy. He was down 4 times in that round. By the way, in a state that had a 3 knockdown rule, he was down 4 times. Oh, and another good left-right combination by Wooden has Kennedy backing up.
And again, he hurt Kennedy to the body, and he froze him, and then he came up on top. That's been his equation for success here in this fight.
Wooden's probably just a little bit arm-weary right now. He's thrown a lot of punches in this fight as we're a little more than halfway gone in round number 8, and he doesn't seem to just be able to get as explosive right now, Bob, as he had been in the early rounds. He had Kennedy hurt just then, and he let him off the hook.
I think he's confident that he's winning this fight, and he knows his eye's not in perfect shape, and he just doesn't want to just sell out because he's confident that he's having his way in this fight. You know, you'd love to have a guy go and finish Ricardo Kennedy at a point like this, but at the same time, you know, you certainly want to make sure that he wins if you're involved with the fighter.
And even though tired, Kennedy, very dangerous puncher. He's got 10 knockouts in his 10 wins. And you never know when one of those desperation punches is going to come out of there. Wooden looking a little bit tired now also here in round number 8. If you're just joining us, fighters set an incredible pace in the first 3 rounds. Slowed down a little bit, and then Wooden dropped Kennedy with a big right near the end of the 5th round. And it's been all Jeff Wooden since round number 5.
Yeah, he's taken over this fight, and you know, he's using his quickness. But like we said at the end of the last round, I think the fact that he really got Ricardo Kennedy's heart rate up early in the fight is what got him in a position of being tired.
Round number 9 coming up, and Michelle.
Walk back to the corner, and Jeff Wooden.
These Corona girls are getting their work.
Andrew Baker, who was his amateur coach in there with them, along with Al Smith, who wasn't up here today. Howie Albert doing a great job keeping that eye open.
You can be sure that eye won't be open too long after this fight's over with. And here you see Jeff, good body shot, got him down, brought his hands down, then a nice left, right, straight left.
But it says a little bit about the fatigue factor on Wooden right now, that Wooden didn't jump right on top of Kennedy at that point, and after landing this beautiful left-right combination, had Kennedy hurt, Kennedy backed up to the ropes, and Wooden said, you know what, I'm winning this fight, I'm going to save a little for rounds 9 and 10. And of course, coming up, don't leave us here if you think this one is good. Derek Roddy and Ahmad Abdeen promises to have just as much action. That's our fight coming up after this one. Round number 9, scheduled for 10. Jazzy Jeff Wooden, he's in the blue with the white stripe. Ricardo Kennedy, he's in black and gold. 1 knockdown in the fight, round number 5. Wooden dropped Kennedy near the end of the round. Kennedy coming out a little faster this round, Bob.
Yeah, I think he realizes, hey, I can go 10 rounds. I've got plenty left, and I'm behind in this fight, and I got to make something happen. And what Jeff Wooden has done as the fight progresses, early in the fight, Kennedy would come out very strong in the first 30 seconds, and Jeff was right there to fight him and take his punches. But now in the first 30, 45 seconds of the fight, it seems that Wooden, ducks and dodges and pivots around and lets Kennedy shoot his load a little bit, and then he starts coming back and having his way with it.
I think he realized Kennedy had something there for 30 seconds, and as always through the fight, as soon as Wooden has gone to the body, he brings down the hands of Kennedy. Kennedy's sort of now looking to be in somewhat of a survival mode. Looked like he might have had something left as he started out round number 9 again. Got to point out, he'd never been past 6 before this fight tonight. Wooden's 10 rounds twice, once successfully, once unsuccessfully.
Well, the good news for Kennedy is that he's here and in this fight, and that he hasn't faded, which some people thought that he would. But see, his feet are slipping. He almost just, went down. He's picking his feet up off the ground. And I don't know if he's having problems, but those ringside shoes aren't generally very slippery. But he's had problems with his balance throughout this fight. Maybe it's a southpaw stance.
Well, I'm telling you, since the 3rd round, he's been protecting that right side. And you take a look at where he's trying to keep that elbow tucked in right now. Every time Wooden goes down there, you can see the grimace.
Yeah.
Wooden's got him really hurt again now. He doesn't know whether to protect the side or protect his face. And if Wooden's got anything left, he could really go to town now. But I just don't know if he's got anything left in his arsenal. Bottom, goes up, good left, right. But you can see Wooden doesn't have what he had earlier back in the 5th, but he's really unleashing now. Charlie Zerillo taking a good look at Kennedy.
Kennedy seems clear-eyed there, but I don't know why he's sitting on those ropes. I'd tie him up, or at least try to tie him up.
I think he's hoping for that one counter punch. Maybe catch Wooden with an uppercut similar to what he did. Remember, he caught up back in the 4th round, caught Wooden with a very good uppercut.
That was his best, Ricardo Kennedy's best fight, punch of the night over here in the neutral corner. But Wooden again has displayed his superiority here in this fight, and he's winning these set-piece battles with Ricardo Kennedy, and that adds up to winning this fight.
30 seconds to go, and round number 9 is scheduled for 10. That left eye really closing up on Jeff Wooden. But Howie Albert doing a great job in the corner. He's got that new-fashioned end swell he was explaining to me at lunch. Really does the job. Both fighters very tired. As we come to the close of round number 9, Ricardo Kennedy raising his hands. I think he's happy just to be here and saying, hey, I can go 10, but he certainly didn't win the round.
10th and final round coming up. Let's hear it for these heavyweights, Jeff Wooden and Ricardo Kennedy. 10th and final round coming up.
Well, Bob, as we get ready for the last round, I've got it 89-81 for Wooden. It's been basically all Wooden since the 5th when he dropped Kennedy. But this is boxing. We take a look at action here from round number 9. And that was around the time where Kennedy just content to lay on the ropes and let Wooden tag off. But Wooden also very fatigued, didn't have as much zing on his punches as he did in the first half of the fight.
As you can see right here, he lands a good right hook, and he's just working his left hand in there and happy to get some points. And there again, he really hurts Ricardo Kennedy, but he's satisfied just to be winning the fight, I think, and not trying to finish him. Because this Kennedy is a brutally strong guy, and you don't want to take too many chances with him.
10th and final round. On Heavyweight Explosion, I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Bob Spagnola. It's Jeff Wooden. He's in the blue shorts with the white stripe. Ricardo Kennedy, black and gold. Wooden has the only knockdown in the fight, dropping Kennedy in the 5th. It's been all Wooden since then, unofficially. I've got Wooden up 89-81. My partner Bob Spagnola has it about 2 points closer. Nevertheless, Kennedy someplace where he's never been before in the 10th round. Prior to this fight, he'd never been past 6. Wooden's been there twice. Oh, and a good right-hand lead catches Wooden. And Wooden's got to be careful this round. He was in cruise control.
Ricardo Kennedy trying to catch lightning in a bottle here.
And he's got a great punch. He's got 10 knockouts in his 10 fights, and he's got Wooden staggered. Wooden trying to clear his head.
Oh, this thing has had it all for a heavyweight fight.
And you got to wonder at this point. Oh, and Kennedy really trying to throw that one from the back. Wooden, his left eye almost totally closed. Howie Albert trying to keep it open throughout the fight, did a great job.
Again, Ricardo Kennedy's feet get tangled up. That'll break your momentum, but I mean,
I gotta tell you. You got to give him credit where you really thought he had nothing left here going into round number 10, and I'm sure Wooden thought the same thing. He really rocked Wooden. Wooden gets a warning from referee Charlie Zerillo for holding. Minute halfway gone here in round number 10, and Wooden starting to get his second win in this round. Kennedy very tired. Down in the 5th round. Surprised that he was able to hang in there. Not much left on his punches. Now Wooden's footing looking a little off.
Both fighters, I mean, because of this pace started, you know, this heavy pace started so early in the fight, the corners have been using a lot of water on these guys throughout it, rather than, you know, after the 4th or 5th round starting to use a lot of water. So both guys are drenched and both corners are very slippery.
Minute to go in the fight. Anything could happen. I wouldn't call it close right now, but a very good 10th round for Ricardo Kennedy, again, who's never been there before.
No, this is not the end of the road for him, even if he doesn't pull this fight out, because he's shown some things here. He's shown some very good recuperative powers and you know, a lot of heart and desire here.
And at least at the moment, he's taken round number 10 from Jeff Wooden, who's coming on strong here now. And he wants to finish strong, and he's watching that right hand cocked from Kennedy off the ropes, trying to land that right hand lead, but no, he wasn't going to fool Wooden. He telegraphed that one. Under 20 seconds to go in the fight. Good last round for Ricardo Kennedy. Good fight for both fighters. Nevertheless, looks like Jeff Wooden has pulled it out.
Excellent performance by 2 young heavyweights here.
Oh, and Wooden trying to finish strong here. He's not going out easy, even though pretty much would have to drop Kennedy to win this round. And there you have it. What a fight.
Let's hear it for a great fight tonight for the heavyweight division for Jeff Wooden and Ricardo Kennedy. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. This one will go to this.
Bob, I had it unofficially 98-91 for Wooden. We take a look at that newfangled end swell Howie Albert was using in the corner. How'd you have it at the end?
98-96 Wooden.
Again, unofficially, I had it 98-91. Big 10th round, though, for Kennedy. But I got to tell you, Wooden still came on strong in the last 30 seconds. Wanted to put in that last ounce of punishment. What an action fight, and we're only halfway done here. If you just tuned in, we got a big one coming up with Derek Roddy and Ahmad Abdeen. We promised you in our open today, this was no protection heavyweight explosion, and you're getting what we said.
I don't know if I can deal these. You know, when somebody's been in this as long as we are, sit here and your palms are sweating after the 1st round, you got to know they put on a heck of a fight.
And if you just joined us, the first 3 rounds were about as fast as heavyweights can fight. Slowed down a little in the 4th. Kennedy was coming on in the 5th round, and then he got dropped near the tail end of the 5th with a big right hand by Wooden. Surprisingly got up, made it back to his corner. It was all Wooden then until the 10th round, and now we're going to go up to the official decision to Chuck Cease. Take it away, Chuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards for this 10-round bout in the heavyweight division. Judge Flasser scores the bout 99-90. Judge Strange scores the bout 100-89, and Judge Bernard Bruni scores the bout 97-93 for your winner by unanimous decision, Jeff Wooden.
Well, Jeff Wooden winning by even bigger margins than I had it at. I had 98-91. Judges had it 99-90, 100-89. A shutout for Wooden, and 97-93. Jeff Wooden improves to 13-1. Ricardo Kennedy drops down to 10-3-1. And I got to tell you, the first person we got to applaud besides the fighters is our matchmaker, Bill Benton. A terrific fight. We promised you coming in to Heavyweight Explosion today that this was nobody being protected. This is the contenders fighting the contenders.
And we don't want to mention Howie Albert, who with that eye that he worked on in the corner could have been a huge factor in this fight. It was absolutely no factor.
And we take a look at the 5th round knockdown again. Wooden landing that big right hand, and watch Kennedy go down, and he hits his neck on the second strand of that rope there, Bob. And I got to tell you, it was amazing that he got up. And if there wasn't at the tail end of round number 5, I don't think he survives the round.
I don't think he could either, but the fact that he recovered and